Good morning, students. Welcome to Samagra Shiksha Andhra Pradesh online classes. How are you, students? My name is P. Venkatatnamma, CRT in Biology, working in KGBB, Venkatagiri, Nellore district. Students, today we will discuss about 10th class Biology, 4th lesson. Let us recall the lessons which we are discussed previous classes. The first lesson, nutrition. Second lesson, respiration. Third lesson, transportation. And fourth lesson, excretion, the wastage disposing system. Now, I will discuss excretion in human beings. In this topic, I will explain catabolic activity, anabolic activity, metabolic activity, external structure of the kidney, internal structure of the kidney, structure of nephrons, mechanism of urine formation, dialysis, kidney transplantation, and organ donation. Students, do you know photosynthesis? What happening photosynthesis? In small molecules like carbon dioxide and water is converted into glucose in the presence of sunlight. This is the example of anabolic activity. Anabolic activity means anabolism is the synthesis of complex molecules or large molecules from simpler ones. This activity requires energy. For example, photosynthesis. Students, do you know respiration? In respiration, complex molecules like glucose is converted into small molecules like water and carbon dioxide. In this reaction, energy is released. This is the example of catabolic activity. Catabolic activity means catabolism is the breakdown of complex molecules into simpler ones. In this activity, energy is released. For the example of respiration. Metabolic activity. Together of these anabolic activity and catabolic activity is called metabolic activity. Metabolic activity required energy and other materials. During these activities, releases lot of waste materials in the body. Students, we have already discussed in earlier classes photosynthesis and respiration process. There are lot of gaseous wastage will be produced, and how they are eliminated we already discussed in previous classes like carbon dioxide, oxygen and water, etc. Different products are generated as a result of these metabolic activities. Example, photosynthesis, oxygen, respiration, carbon dioxide, digestion, feces. Waste substances have to be released out as they may harm the organisms. Students, what is this solution? In this solution, the waste products is removed into the body. The separation and removal of waste or non-useful substances from the body is called excretion. In Latin, ex means out and criner means shift. Now discuss about excretion in human beings. In human beings, number of metabolic activities takes place. As a result, many useful substances are formed along with energy. This will be utilized for growth and development of human body. At the same time, several toxic substances are formed. water content may increase and ionic balance in the body may be disturbed. The water products are carbon dioxide, excess of water, nitrogenous compounds like ammonia, urea, uric acid, bile pigments, and excess of salts, etc. The most poisonous of all waste products of metabolism is ammonia. Now discuss about excretory system in human beings. Students, kidneys are excretory organs in our body. Human excretory system contains a pair of kidneys, a pair of ureters, urinary bladder, and urethra. Students, we can see this picture. Observe carefully. This is human excretory system. These are a pair of kidneys. These are a pair of ureters. This is urinary bladder. This one urethra. Students, kidneys produce urine. These are a pair of ureters. Ureter transports urine. This is urinary bladder. Urinary bladder stores urine. This one urethra. Urethra conducts urine. Now discuss about external structure of the kidney. Students, in human beings, kidneys are bean-shaped reddish brown organ. This is human kidney. Human kidney are bean-shaped reddish brown organ. One pair of kidneys are attached to dorsal body wall on either side of the backbone. Students, these are a pair of kidneys. This is right kidney. This is left kidney. The right kidney is placed slightly lower than the right kidney due to the presence of liver above on the right kidney. It is 10 centimeters length, 5 to 6 centimeters breadth, and 4 centimeters in thickness. Students, external structure of the kidney. This picture observe carefully. This is cortex. This is hilux. This is renal artery. This one renal vein. This is ureter. Its outer margin is convex and inner margin is concave. The inner margin is called hilus. This is hilus. The inner margin is called hilus. Through hilus, renal artery enters into the kidney, while renal vein and ureters are come out from the kidney. Renal artery brings in oxygenated blood with nitrogenous wastes. Renal vein, this is renal vein. Renal vein carries out deoxygenated blood. The waste products generated in various organs of the body are filtered and removed by the kidneys. Students, now discuss about internal structure of the kidney. We can see this picture. This is longitudinal structure of kidney. This is renal artery. This one renal vein. This one is renal pelvis. This is ureter. This is nephron. This is medulla. This one cortex. This is calycis. Longitudinal structure of kidney shows two distinct regions. They are cortex and medulla. The outer region of kidney is deep red in color, is called cortex. The outer margin of kidney is deep red in color. These are called cortex. The inner margin of kidney is light red in color is called medulla. Inner margin is called bright red in color is called medulla. Each kidney is made up of about 1.3 to 1.8 millions of microscopic and thin tubular functional unit called nephrons. Students, this is nephron. 1.3 to 1.8 millions of microscopic tubulars. These are called nephrons. Nephrons are the responsible for urine formation. Hence, those reasons, nephrons are the structural and functional unit of the kidney. So, nephrons are responsible for urine formation. Now, discuss about structure of nephron. Students, we can see this picture. This is structure of nephron. Observe carefully. This is longitudinal texture of kidney. This one is nephron. This is nephron structure. Nephron is the structural and functional unit of the kidney. Each kidney contains about 1.3 to 1.8 millions of nephrons. Each kidney 1.3 to 1.8 millions of nephrons. Each nephron contains two parts. The first one is Malpighian body. Second one is renal tubule. These are Malpighian body. This one is renal tubule. Now discuss about the first one is Malpighian body in the nephron structure. It consists of a blind cup-shaped broader end of nephron called Bowman's capsule. These are Bowman's capsule. Bowman's capsule are cup-shaped, and bunch of blood capillaries is called glomerulus. And bunch of blood capillaries are called glomerulus. Bowman's capsule cup-shaped, and bunch of blood capillaries is called glomerulus. The Bowman's capsule and glomerulus are together called Malpighian capsule. Students, Bowman's capsule and glomerulus are together Malpighian capsule. Glomerulus develops from afferent arteriole. It gives rise to efferent arteriole. Glomerulus develops afferent arteriole. It gives rise to efferent arteriole. This is afferent arteriole. This is efferent arteriole. Efferent arteriole, the diameter of is less than the afferent arteriole. Why is it? Because of the due to narrower outlet of efferent arteriole, pressure is exerted on glomerulus. Then it functions as the filtration unit. Bowman's capsule is lined with podocytes, leaving micropores. Students, this is Malpighian body. Malpighian body, it consists two parts, Bowman's capsule and glomerulus. Bowman's capsule, cup-shaped end of the nephron, and bunch of the blood capillaries is called glomerulus. Glomerulus is the filtration unit. Glomerulus it develops to afferent arteriole. It gives rise to efferent arteriole. The next one is renal tubule. This is renal tubule picture. This is Bowman's capsule. This one is proximal convoluted tubule. This one is distal convoluted tubule. This is Henle loop. Renal tubule arises from Bowman's capsule. It contains three parts. They are proximal convoluted tubule. This is proximal convoluted tubule. Second one is loop of Henle. This is loop of Henle. Third one is distal convoluted tubule. This one, distal convoluted tubule. Children, we can see this picture. This is structure of nephron. This one is glomerulus. This one is proximal convoluted tubule. This one is loop of Henle. This one is distal convoluted tubule. This one is collecting tube. PCT is the first part of the renal tubule, arises from Bowman's capsule. Proximal convoluted tubule, the first part of the renal tubule, arises from Bowman's capsule. Henle loop is U-shaped, present between proximal convoluted tubule and distal convoluted tubule. Students, Henle loop is U-shaped. This is Henle loop, present between proximal convoluted tubule and distal convoluted tubule. Distal convoluted tubule opens into the collecting tube. This one is collecting tube. Collecting tube from pyramids and calyces, which opens into pelvis. Pelvis leads into ureter. Ureter opens into urinary bladder. All the parts of the renal tube are covered by a network of peritubular capillaries formed from efferent arteriole. Peritubular capillaries, these are peritubular capillaries formed from efferent arteriole. Students, now discuss about differences between proximal convoluted tubule and distal convoluted tubule. This is proximal convoluted tubule. This is distal convoluted tubule. The cells present in the proximal convoluted tubule have brush border, which is capable of absorption. Distal convoluted tubule is the highly coiled part found in the medulla of the kidney. Proximal convoluted tubule receives primary urine from glomerulus. Distal convoluted tubule receives urine from the glomerulus. Proximal convoluted tubule regulates excretion of urine by absorbing excess water from primary urine. In distal convoluted tubule, water and salts are secreted. A small amount of tubular secretion also takes place in the proximal convoluted tubule. The secretion of wastage of ions takes place in the distal convoluted tubule. The substances which are reabsorbed into peritubular network from proximal convoluted tubule are glucose, amino acids, vitamin C, potassium, calcium, sodium chloride, and 75% of water, etc. The substances like urea, uric acid, creatinine, sodium, potassium, hydrogen ions are secreted into distal convoluted tubule. Students, once again repeat structure of nephron. We can see this picture. This is structure of nephron. Nephron consists two parts, Malpighian body and renal tubule. Students, this is Bowman's capsule. The Bowman's capsule cup-shaped end of the nephron and bunch of blood capillaries is called glomerulus. Glomerulus develops from afferent arteriole. It gives rise to efferent arteriole. This is proximal convoluted tubule. This is loop of Henle. This one distal convoluted tubule. This one collecting tube. When blood flows from renal artery to glomerulus through the afferent arteriole, the filtrate the glomerulus is also called primary urine. The filtrate from glomerulus is also called primary urine. After primary urine, it travels into proximal convoluted tubule. After primary urine, it travels into proximal convoluted tubule. After primary urine, it travels into proximal convoluted tubule. This process is useful substances in primary urine are reabsorbed into the proximal convoluted tubule. This process, useful substances in primary urine are reabsorbed into the proximal convoluted tubule. After reabsorbed in proximal convoluted tubule, the urine travels through the loop of Henle into distal convoluted tubule. Distal convoluted tubule secretes some ions. The urine forms as concentrated urine. After urine travels distal convoluted into collecting tube. Collecting tube opens into ureter. It leads to urinary bladder. It opens into urethra. Students, now discuss about mechanism of urine formation. Formation of urine involves 4 stages. The first one, glomerulus filtration. Second one, tubular reabsorption. Third one, tubular secretion. And fourth one, formation of hypertonic urine. Children, we can see this picture. This is urine formation. This is glomerulus filtration. This is tubular reabsorption. This one, tubular secretion. This one is excretion. The first one is glomerulus filtration. Students, we can see this picture. This is glomerulus. This is Bowman's capsule. Bowman's capsule, cup-shaped end of the nephron and bunch of blood capillaries is called glomerulus. Glomerulus develops from afferent arteriole. It gives rise to efferent arteriole. This one, proximal convoluted tubule. This is podocytes. When the blood flows from renal artery to glomerulus through the afferent arteriole, and as the pressure is exerts on the blood capillaries, the substance along with large amount of water is filtered into the proximal convoluted tubule. Large amount of water is filtered into the proximal convoluted tubule throughout the pores in between podocytes. This is called as glomerulus filtration. The next one is tubular reabsorption. Children, you can see this picture. This is glomerulus filtration. This one is proximal convoluted tubule. This one is distal convoluted tubule. This is loop of Henle. This one collecting tube. The filtrate from glomerulus is also called as primary urine. The filtrate glomerulus is also called primary urine, which is almost equal to blood in chemical composition. But this primary urine does not contain blood cells. Students, primary urine is equal to blood, but does not contain blood cells. It passes throughout the proximal convoluted tubule and loop of Henle. During this process, useful substances in primary urine are reabsorbed into the peritubular network, like excess of water and salts. Students, this is peritubular network. This one's peritubular network. And third one is tubular secretion. After reabsorption in proximal convoluted tubule region, the urine travels through the loop of Henle into distal convoluted tubule. This one, proximal convoluted tubule. This is loop of Henle. This is distal convoluted tubule. After reabsorption, proximal convoluted tubule, the urine travels through the loop of Henle into distal convoluted tubule. Here, some other wastes like extra salts, ions of sodium, potassium, chloride, and hydrogen secreted from peritubular capillaries into distal convoluted tubule. This is somewhat maintains a proper concentration and pH of the urine by balancing the water and ions. Students, differences between tubular reabsorption and tubular secretion. This is tubular reabsorption. This is tubular secretion. It occurs from nephric filtrate into the blood in peritubular capillaries. It occurs from blood in peritubular capillaries into nephric filtrate. Useful substances like glucose, amino acids, vitamins, sodium, etc. are transported. Harmful substances like uric acids, urea, creatinine, sodium, hydrogen, etc. are transported. Tubular reabsorption, active and passive, both transport are involved. Tubular secretion, only active transport is involved. And fourth one is formation of hypertonic urine. Students, we can see this picture. This is glomerulus filtration. Glomerulus filtration is also called as primary urine. Primary urine, it travels into the proximal convoluted tubule. Some useful substances are reabsorbed into the proximal convoluted tubule. Primary urine, it travels into through the loop of Henle into distal convoluted tubule. Distal convoluted tubule travels into the urine collecting tube. 75% of water content of nephric filtrate is reabsorbed in the region of proximal convoluted tubule. 75% of water content nephric filtrate is reabsorbed in the proximal convoluted tubule. And 10% of water passes out of filtrate through osmosis in the area of loop of Henle. In this leads to concentration of urine. Further concentration of urine takes place in the area of collecting tubes in the presence of hormone is called vasopressin. Further concentration of urine takes place in the area of collecting tube in the presence of vasopressin hormone. Vasopressin hormone is secreted when more concentrated urine to be passed out. If you drink less water, more vasopressin is released and most of the water gets reabsorbed into the body, and this leads to the high concentrated production of urine. Deficiency of vasopressin causes repeated diluted urination is called diabetes insipidus. Deficiency of vasopressin causes repeated diluted urination is called diabetes insipidus. Nephrons are considered as the structural and functional units of kidney, as each kidney is made up of approximately more than 1 million microscopic nephrons, and the main function of the kidney, that is filtration of waste substances from the blood, is taken by whole of the nephron. Students, now discuss about ureters. This is a pair of ureters. There are a pair of whitish, narrow, distensible and muscular tubes of around 30 centimeters length is called ureters. Each ureter arises from the hilus of the kidney. Students, this part is hilus. Each ureter arises from the hilus of the kidney. It moves downward, the obliquely opens into the urinary bladder. Ureter carries urine from the kidney to the urinary bladder. The movement of urine in the ureter through peristalsis. The next one is urinary bladder. It is a median pear-shaped sac. Students, this is urinary bladder. It has a median pear-shaped sac. It stores urine of about 300 to 800 ml. It is bought by 2 ureters. The urinary bladder stores urine about 300 to 800 ml. And next one is urethra. This is urethra. It is a tube that takes urine from urinary bladder to outside. It is a tube that takes urine from urinary bladder to outside. The opening of urinary bladder into urethra is guarded by a ring of muscles or sphincters. Urethra is 4 centimeters long in females and about 20 centimeters long in males. Its opening is separate in females, but is in common with the reproductive tract in males. The next one is micturition. The urine is temporarily stored in the urinary bladder. The urine is temporarily stored in the urinary bladder. Urine can be retained in the urinary bladder till it gets filled up to the maximum capacity of 700 to 800 ml. Urinary bladder capacity stores urine 700 to 800 ml. At this time, the urge becomes painful and leads to voluntary micturition. Total amount of urine excreted per day is about 1.6 to 1.8 liters. Total amount of urine is excreted per day is about 1.6 to 1.8 liters. The next one is composition of urine. Urine has amber color due to presence of urochrome. Urine has amber color due to presence of urochrome. Due to variations in dietary intake and physical activity, the composition may differ from time to time. The person taking a lot of protein food will result in more formation of urea in the urine. The person taking lot of protein food will result in more formation of urea in the urine. This is because the protein get deanimated in the liver with subsequent formation of urea. The person diet content more amount of carbohydrates, the person urine content lot of sugar. Is a person lot of intake water and fruit juices, etc. That person urine content less concentration. Students, complete and irreversible kidney failure is called end-stage renal disease. Complete and irreversible kidney failure is called end-stage renal disease. At this stage, kidneys stop working completely. Our body is filled with extra water and waste products. This condition is called uremia. Students, this is uremia symptom. This condition, our hands and feet may swell. Uremia condition, our hands and feet may swell. The next one is dialysis. Dialysis is the process which is recommended to filter the blood of a person when both kidneys are damaged. Dialysis is the process is recommended to filter the blood of a person when both kidneys are damaged. Dialysis process is done through the dialysis machine. Students, this is dialysis machine. In this process, the blood is taken from out the main artery and added with anticoagulant such as heparin. In this process, the blood is taken out from the main artery, and added with anticoagulant such as heparin. We add this heparin to avoid blood clotting and then it is pumped into the dialysis machine. In this dialysis machine, the blood is filtered and cleaned. In this dialysis machine, the blood is filtered and cleaned. The blood is pumped back to the body through the main vein after adding anticoagulant. By using dialysis process, we can save the person if both kidneys are damaged. By using dialysis process, we can save the person if both kidneys are damaged. The next one is kidney transplantation. If the dialysis does not work and if the kidneys are damaged, we should prefer the kidney transplantation. If the dialysis does not work and if the kidneys are damaged, we should prefer the kidney transplantation. Students, we can see this picture. This is damaged kidneys. These are damaged kidneys. This is transplanted kidney. The first kidney transplantation was performed between identical twins in 1954 by Dr. Charles Hufnagel, was a surgeon at Washington, USA. In India, first kidney transplantation was done on 1st December 1971 at Christian Medical College, Vellore, Tamil Nadu. The next one, organ donation. Nowadays, the process of organ donation helps a lot of kidney failure persons. Organs are collected from brain dead persons, then transplanted to the recipient. Students, your organs to others is like a gift to God. Donate your organ and reborn. Okay, students, we discuss more topics in this class. Let us recall once again. Excretion in human beings, catabolic activity, metabolic activity, external structure of the kidney, internal structure of the kidney, structure of nephron, mechanism of urine formation, dialysis, kidney transplantation, and organ donation. Students, read and learn the topics which we discuss now and practice the figures in the lesson. Okay, students, this session is completed. Let us meet in another session. Okay, students, take your notebooks and write down the assignments. The first question, what is mean by excretion? Second question, explain the structure of nephron. Third question, draw a neat label diagram of longitudinal structure of kidney. And fourth question is expand ESRD. Okay, students, stay home, stay safe. Thank you.